No, but overall, it is interesting. And obviously, the Chelsea game is a priority. You could see that in his team selection here today. But that win, no matter that it was just a one goal, just seems to give everyone a big lift.
Yeah, absolutely. And he mentioned it himself. Just because they won today doesn't mean they're going to win against Chelsea, but it's a step in the right direction. When he references the fact that game against Brighton was his worst in his managerial career, you want it to be better. You can't continue to slide in the way that they were doing. So then he gave some players today some game time. Some of those guys might not play on the weekend, but it's a positive feeling. It's a positive moment on the bus when they're travelling back together to Liverpool, when they arrive at training tomorrow or the next day. There is a sense of positivity instead of the doom and gloom that was there after that Brighton performance. So, he understands the game. He's managed, hundreds, if not thousands of times, and he gets it. This was a big moment for them. They're in the next round of the Cup, and it's a chance for them to be able to retain a trophy. I think most people would say that the Premier League's done. Obviously, they're a chance for the Champions League, but the FA Cup's right there for them, and if they can hit form at the right time, then who's to say that they can't retain that title?
Is it really a big moment, Stevie? Wolves could have played all day and not scored.
Listen, if you've been involved in Liverpool recently, it is a big moment because they've been that bad. And Klopp's not going to come out and say that performance against Brighton was the worst of his career unless it was really bad. That means there's a little bit of a crisis. Because let's be honest, right now, Liverpool's first team is going through a crisis. So this performance, never mind it was against Wolves, it doesn't really matter who it was against particularly. It was about the way they went about it. And as I was saying earlier, had Liverpool played a 4th division side and won 10-0 today, that really wouldn't have made much difference going into Saturday. What today did was give everybody confidence because there was back to basics that they were talking about. There was a desire and a fight and a commitment.
But hardly any of those players are going to play against Chelsea.
But then... Again, that's not really the point. The point is that all the so-called first-teamers who were sitting watching this game, that's how you do it. You need to remember that's how you win games. When you're not at your best, that's how you win. By covering your mate. You do your own job and then you cover the guy next to you. That's not what Liverpool's first team has been doing. Number one, they haven't been doing their own job. And number two, they haven't been covering their mate. And so there's been holes everywhere. You never saw any holes tonight. Yes, it's against a team that's not particularly creative. But the fact is, they got it done and they did it in a certain manner that Liverpool haven't been able to do.
I don't know, Shaq. This is all feeling very Liverpool TV-y.
It's a big moment because of how poor Liverpool were against Brighton.
But it's a second-string side against a Wolves team who were changed as well, with priority of safety.
But to that point, whenever anybody wins, regardless of who plays, there's a bit of a feel-good at the club. And let's be honest, Liverpool are short of feel-good moments. That being said, I think this feels bigger because of how poor they were against Brighton. And you come out against a Premier League team and you're resolute and you roll your fingers up and you throw yourself in the way of things and you keep a clean sheet. So that has a bit of an effect on everybody, not just those who played, those who may feature against Chelsea. The only caveat to that is that I feel as though we've almost been looking for feel-good moments for Liverpool all season long. We've always been looking for that result or that performance that we could say, this shows that they've turned the corner. And there's just been far too many false dawns. Maybe because of how bad it was against Brighton, this proves to be that one, but I'm not getting carried away just yet.
Unfortunately, we couldn't do it, but let me tell you something. Because you don't really believe this feel-good factor stuff. You're kind of poo-pooing it.
I just feel like we're stretching a little bit. We're trying to find positives.
I wish we could have sent Nedum to training yesterday morning when they all got off the bus to go to training or come out the changing rooms. And I wish we could send Nedum on Friday morning to training and see them all coming out the changing rooms. You talk about a completely different atmosphere. That is where you'll see it and that's where you would feel it. Because right now you're poo-pooing this feel-good factor.
Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Want to go to training?
And I don't agree with the guys. I think If I'm a Liverpool first-team player, I lost against Brighton and I've been horrendous, it's not because my teammate did well and won the game away from home without me that I will feel good about it and relieved that it's going to be better for me. No, I'm going to be even more under pressure to make sure that my status is still there and that I can prove that I'm still a good player. It's going to give pressure to the players who didn't play today and will have to perform to make sure they should be in the first 11. And I love the enthusiastic spirit of Mr. Klopp and Stevie and even Xhaka. But I think the players who've been horrendous again lately will have to prove against Chelsea that they're not healing yet, that they're not sick anymore, and they're still back to the best because their friends, their teammates won against poor Wolves and without them. So it's why I disagree. I like the spirit, what you try to bring about collective sport, and I want to believe it, but I don't believe it.
So it makes no difference. If they got beat 2-0, it makes no difference.
Yes, it would have made a big difference in the other way around.
How can it not make a difference when they win, but if they got beat, it would have made a difference? How is that possible?
Oh, because it could have put them under a bigger pressure because they didn't win again because it represents the club. So it gives the relief maybe to the club, but it doesn't give a relief to the player. The player, they will have to prove they've been bad, and it's not because their friend, their teammates won that they're going to get better. They have to prove it, and I tell you, they're still sick. They've been horrendous for a while. Well, luckily for them, they're going to play another team who is as sick as they are. So, well, let's see who is not with doubts, because Chelsea won against Crystal Palace, but mainly with the first team, and not with the B team.
Nadim, anything you'd like to say before you let it get warm?
Yeah, I'm with Stevie on this because, you know, if we say that the win doesn't matter, then, like, what would a poor performance and a poor defeat have meant for them going into the weekend? You know, that training ground, when they arrive tomorrow, like, there are no positives if that was to be the case. You'd have more issues. You'd be thinking, well, how do I lift the players? And there were players who did play today who will get game time on the weekend. So to be able to be out there on the field and to win, like, the winning mentality carries so far. Like, I've played with players who, if they won in a training game on a Friday, were in great confidence for the Saturday. Like, winning within football can be everything. And when we look at how bad a performance they had in the fixture in the first game, you know, they were horrendous. From there, like, they got the draw, but I think the Wolves players were thinking, well, they deserve to do more. But then for Liverpool today, they've gone out there after a very bad game on the weekend. Some players have played particularly well, and there were certain patterns and combinations which have, you know, put them through in this round, and they've dug in, they've gone back to basics. And as I say, the build-up to the Chelsea game is far different now compared to what would have happened if they would have lost and played badly. And don't get me wrong, might not make any difference come that result, come Sunday or Saturday, whenever it is. But the fact is, you want to go into work after a win, because that Brighton game now, it just feels that little bit further in the past, because the things you can talk about are the last win which you got, where you worked hard together and managed to get something from the game.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.